So today we're going to be having a little swing review of the Ryder Cup hero, Ian Poulter. It's safe to say that this is someone who has a history and a reputation of playing extremely well under pressure situations. So whenever you've got someone like that, you have to think that there's someone there that definitely has confidence, belief, and guess a good level of consistency in the execution of their movement. So first thing that we're going to do is always we're going to go ahead and look at the numbers and see what's happened on this shot. It's got a 5-iron in hand here. So club head speed 94.9, and the good thing about this is a good solid speed that's here. It's not something that's super high. It's definitely in the sort of more standard of PGA Tour club head speed, so it's something that people can relate to a little bit more. Hits 2.1 degrees down on the ball, which is slightly on the shallow side, but again, all within normal bounds. And then interestingly, a club path of 4 degrees inside out. So club face angle's half a degree open to the target, so this ball's going to start just right of the target line, and it's going to have some draw spin on it. I think it's really, really interesting to see how the numbers come out. I haven't seen this shot, so you can't sort of get a feel for what the ball flight would be, but based off those numbers, I'll probably say it's looking like probably a 3 to 4 yard amount of draw. Looking through, good strike, launch angle 12.5 degrees, spin axis 2.2 minus. That means again that the ball is confirmed to be turning to the left. So yeah, 206 yards carry, very strong there, and a height of 87.8 feet, which is slightly lower. I guess you do tend to see numbers nearer towards 100 feet, but very good. And you see here launch direction 1.3, so definitely started slightly right and then worked its way towards the left. So let's have a look at the movement itself. We're going to get the down the line video on here. Let's just reverse, and we'll just play through a couple of times just so it can be seen how it's actually moving, and then we can start to have a good discussion about the flight itself. Looks like this has been taken at an Open Championship, and probably based on the gear, it's a potentially a year or so out. Okay, so I mean, looking at we'll start from the down the line video here. So first movement, we notice that the club takes an inside track, and from the front here we can see that this is what I call lagging the hands, where the hands push back first rather than the club head going away first. Now the good thing this does is this does make your body rotate, but we see with Ian Poulter here, it just actually he goes back with his hands slightly in, and then we see that right elbow the trail elbow there start to bend a little bit. Good thing is that he's not actually shut the face, because that is something that does tend to lead from the right arm going in. So he's done himself a good favour there. And then moving forwards, you can see how the right arm gets a very big width and separates a lot from that left arm. Good position at the top in terms of hands are nice and high. The club head, it does look like it's long there, but you can see from there it's above parallel. Sometimes the down the line side is a bit of a trick to the eye. So what we're looking at here is left knee's gone in, kept his weight pretty stable, giving himself a big radius there. I think the only things that I'm sort of starting to note here are definitely the space between the elbows. Let's see how that then comes down. And a great shallowing of the club there, and this is what starts to show the quality of the player here. He's managed to, even though that right arm's gone back inside and early, he's managed to keep it somewhat in front of himself here. And you see how the club does fall a little bit through that right elbow, which does mean you're always going to lead to a more inside out path. He does come onto the ball and remain extremely passive through there. The reason why from here, you can see again another great move here, is that arm is in front of the body and he's still got loads of elbow and wrist angle to let go, and they all get dispersed very nicely onto the ball. Nice long release. Weight's transferred back nicely into that left heel. And you can see here, because we've had a bit more of an inside-out movement to the swing here, that's why from this view here, if you ever have this at home, guys, you see a little bit more of the butt of the club. You notice on some players that we've done, we see that the butt of the club disappear. It's just something that relates to how much of the club you see depends on your path. If you're swinging outside in, your club's going to disappear very quickly. And then he comes up to into his nice high finish. Classic one that we all know, we've all seen, always gets held as well. So I think if we're looking at things to learn from Ian, is one thing is to know is that if you're going to do something in your swing, you get really good at it and consistent. It must be repeatable. And then I think if I was to look at anything to correct, if I was going to make a few statements here on ways that I think that this would be a good route forwards for Ian to try and maybe get rid of the potential of becoming too far on the inside, it would just be on this first move here. I'd really try to make sure that that right arm stays as close to that left arm as possible, so that then when it's moving up to the top, the gap is not this big, it's much tighter between the elbows, and then there'd be a lot less of a job to do in terms of, I guess, controlling where that downswing goes, because that could see the club stay on that arm a little bit longer as he turns and opens his body. So I guess in summary, it's keep the arms closer together, and then that can be much more of a neutral path, taking it from something that's 4 degrees in to out. It'd be nice to see it around 2.5, maximum 3. Yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. If there's any swings that you want looking at, just let us know. Give us a message, and then look forward to hearing from you soon.